We're here at Johnson Valley celebrating the last stop of the 2022 Great American Crawl. So warming up on day number 1 was Chocolate Thunder.
We went to Chocolate Thunder, and that went interesting.
So if you think about Chocolate Thunder, where it's at on the course itself, it sits pretty much in the middle of the real hardcore trails. It's a great intro. It's going to give you a good eye opener as to what your Jeep or rig can do right off the bat.
I took the same line that I took when I was here for hammers, and I just kind of rolled up it. So Scott came, and he did not have a front locker, so he had to kind of just beat his way through it. And then Cord decided to turtle everything.
Hit that first optional line to the right. Scott gave it a good couple goes and finally rolled through that. And I said, why not? Scott can do it, I can do it. I was wrong.
You're stuck.
Yep.
That's my professional opinion, is that he's stuck.
A lot of fun vacuuming that out. Who brought the new guy?
Tight fit on that one.
When we were recovering Cord, we had to stack rocks, we had to snatch block, we had to reposition him. I mean, it was just, he got up there and slid off funny, and it literally, he was stuck on his front axle, his rear diff, and his belly all at the same time.
Well, you did really a number on yourself.
Found a nice sweet spot, didn't he?
Hey, it's the warm-up, dude.
That's the issue, is Chocolate Thunder. Chocolate Thunder is a 5-minute warm-up, and we've made a mission of it, you know.
Finally got myself up and over. And then of course, Chocolate Thunder's a pretty short course when you cut out through the middle of it, so we just rolled right through. Everybody did great otherwise. Factor 55 to the rescue along with the winch. Everything worked flawlessly, just as planned, except for the massive boulders that I managed to miscalculate. So it happens. It happens.
Yeah, no, it was a good warm up, good. It didn't take us too long, and then we cut out and went over to back door.
This is an obstacle where you can see shootouts, where you can really put your wheels on the wall, and I do mean wall. And we're talking about probably a 7, 8 foot, maybe even a 9 foot wall, and it is probably in the most torn up condition that I've seen it in the 4 years that I've been coming and going to King of Hammers.
I tried back door in February. I tried it when we were here for King of the Hammers. I was still on my TSLs, so I wanted to try it with the Mickeys. I'm not one for like heavy throttle and stuff like that, so I wanted to see if I could crawl it, and we got over to back door and everybody said it was as deep as they've ever seen it. So there were no rocks or sand in the bottom of it, it was just the rock shelf. So, I mean, it was all the way to, I guess it's granite.
Being down to the slab is as low as it goes. This is big as back door goes.
And it's pretty vertical. The problem with back door is it's really slippery. Like in New Mexico, we've got a lot of ledges and a lot of them are a lot taller than that, but it's grippy rock. This, I mean, back door is just polished out and it's just really slippery. I tried 3 or 4 different lines, tried to crawl it, it just wasn't gonna happen. Fail.
Not today, Trey.
Thumbs down.
Not today. Well, it is pretty deep.
It is pretty deep, and I tried.
You gave it a good shot.
The old college try.
No.
Yeah, James gave it a shot. He went a little harder than I did, and he did get kind of light in the front. It just didn't even look like that wanted to go. I mean, it looked like it wasn't happening for anybody.
Holy, that's deep. Done.
Today was Sledgehammer. This is actually one of my most favorite trails that's out here. Now today, we actually ran it unscathed, I think with exception to one tail light.
So we got to Sledge and we ended up kind of veering off and not even starting Sledge where the race course starts, and there's just a little rock garden right at the beginning.
Well, we had some snafus, but we got them squared away. But we rolled right into that intro rock garden that's, nobody hits. It's not really part of the race course, and most assuredly, you didn't see tire tracks anywhere. And if you did see them, they were really washed out. So it's been a while since anybody rocked through that. First section of that, he just got into that downward slope where you needed to make a little down to a little right to go back uphill. But as soon as he went down, it was a hot mess.
So maybe we should go around this.
A little exciting and a little bit longer than we thought it was going to be for the intro of the trail, but it was, again, like most everything out here, these gatekeepers, even if they're kind of a bonus line, they can give you a good idea of what your Jeep can and can't do. So pay attention to those things. It's all about seat time and it's all about knowing your rig, because everybody wants to have fun and not break.
Sledge, as far as difficulty level, I mean, most people would consider that extreme. I would say that is an extreme trail. It's definitely challenging. Tire size helps, and it's all about wheel placement. I mean, you get into some of those harder trails, those extreme trails like that, and a matter of a few inches left or right with your tire placement can make a huge difference. Yeah, so the first, what I guess you would consider obstacle in there, you come up kind of through a little V-notch thing, and then you actually have to make a hard right if you want to take like the rock crawling line. It looks like the race course line is straight around the left side, but we decided to take the rock crawling line. So you get through that first little V and then you make a hard right into a bigger V, and you actually have to walk your driver's side up a big boulder. Yeah, that one's tight in there.
It's been a long time since I've had that kind of an off-camber steep incline that I was trying to get at least the driver's side to go up. And eventually I managed to get that driver's side nice and high, passenger side nice and deep, but not quite into the hole. Baja bosses hooked up, pulled me right through. The next one is the plaque line, the famed plaque line, if you will. You can see most of it as you roll up to it. What you really don't see is the incredibly technical portion that's right behind it.
Coming up on that, I guess it's not really a waterfall, it's just a weird placement of several boulders. When you come up to that, when you see it, it's impressive. The actual climb into it doesn't look that difficult, but right when you get up onto the ledge, then you got a couple like massive boulders that you have to navigate around, either hard left or hard right, and it's just, it's all about wheel placement there. That first couple rocks right after you actually make it up, I mean, it was catching all kinds of stuff. Diffs, links, bumpers, everything. Yeah, I mean, they were good sized boulders. I mean, when you climb up, you got two like vehicle sized boulders, and there's kind of like a notch in between them that you kind of got to climb up. But then once you get up there, you got those decent sized boulders that are still up there, and they're like right in the middle of the trail, which is what makes it hard. So on the right side of it, you've got big vehicle sized boulders. On the left side of it, it's a wall, and then you've got these boulders that are big enough to turtle you right in the middle. So you got to dance around them, and it's that one section was the hardest part of the trail. Yeah, the plaque line, I mean, he was extremely close to getting that B-pillar, which is a very common four-door Wrangler issue. I mean, people put those B-pillars and stuff all the time.
Okay, keep it driving.
first things first. How do I get my tires on it? And with my particular build, it's a bit of a wide right, and then it's a big climb over that left-hand face. We had quite a few rigs that were just got really jammed up in there because, you know, a lot of that trail is really washed out now. There was a lot of shifting and maneuvering because that next boulder sits just right in the middle of the course. There's no avoiding it. Once I got it clear of the first plaque line hump, and then pull myself through. Now, was that the end of my little stage for that section? No. That turned into a big, steep off camber to the passenger side, and me hoping and praying that I just wasn't gonna drag that beautiful Jeep, wasn't gonna drag it down that right-hand side boulder.
Okay, take it really quick. Keep it going straight.
There's a rock right here, and you're perfectly with your arms like this. If your arms were any of the geometry, you'd be on top of it. So we can just winch right there, and you ain't. That's like the best.
Doesn't sound like I have a choice right now.
No. Not really.
So you see here, this is a rock, and that's his diff, and he's stuck.
Again, it was a little bit of pressure, a little bit of time, a whole lot of patience, especially for me, a whole lot of patience. But we managed to get myself free, run the wall right up.
I pulled him up.
I wasn't even winching in.
Come on.
Keep going back. Now hard driver.
Doesn't want to stick on that. Yay!
After that is yet another, was another obstacle. Nature took its course, washed out most of it. It's no longer that challenging, and the rest of the trail was actually super, super easy for Gridlock, myself, and Trey. Now, of course, whenever you're out with people, you never really want to turn your back for any seconds because things will just go sideways, and they did.
I powered it. If it hits my head, it's probably taking it with it. Okay. You won't have to worry about it. Oh!
Good old Brandon in his JLU managed to get himself just in a pickle. And we had to break out line, we had to break out a snatch block and just double up that shear force and just get him out, drag him out and over. They did manage to get at least a high lift under the driver's side, pick him up a couple inches so that he could winch just ever so slightly farther forward and break free of that diff lock that he had for the rear end of his Jeep. And then we've got the old trail trash coming through with the Yoda for the day, the token Yoda for our trail. And he decided to get himself into a real pickle. Again, just a real bind. Wheelbase playing a huge factor there. He's one of the longer wheelbases. Got himself bound out really well.
Yeah! Oh, ruined it! It's ruined!
That's all right.
Underestimated the talent.
And we shouldn't have turned our back, because about that time we turned around and saw what really looked like a flop. Was it a flop? No, I don't think he'll call it a flop, and anybody that took pictures, we might actually have to do some measurements on that one. Thankfully, he managed to work himself free. I think maybe we pulled line, I don't recall if we pulled line or not, to just drag him out of that.
Yeah, the trail was definitely a success. We did not get as much done as we thought we were going to do, but it was a success. Everything got out before it got dark.
The top of the trail is the mailbox. That's where you get to see all the signage to point you to where you want to go next. For us, it was pretty much the end of the day. Again, the sun was going lower, so were the temps. We decided just to beat feet and move our way out. So again, discretion being the better part of valor. We burned up most of the day today on that trail. We had thoughts of hitting Jackhammer. It just wasn't really in the cards. The sun was setting, the temps are dropping just as fast as the sun is right now, so we figured we'd come back, maybe warm up, go grab a hot meal, and give each other a hard time about all the fun we had and all the little mistakes we made.
And I mean, everybody was super cool, everybody was super helpful. All these new guys that I haven't wheeled with before, again, we made it through and we didn't have any major damage or issues. So, I mean, I say that's a good day.
Start moving forward.